the 2018-2019 farming season had shown some significant changes in as far as farming is concerned compared to the 2018-2019 farming season. Agriculture is one of the most fast growing business ventures in Zambia. Most people are venturing into agriculture, and agriculture is the next big thing in Zambia. Most people want to be farmers, but they don't know where to start from. There are a lot of crops, and it's so many crops which can give you good monies at the end of the day. But the question is, do we know these crops? Most of the time, we do these things without understanding what really it takes for you to grow that crop. One of the crops which I'm going to talk about today is the maize farming. Most people, almost 3/4 of the people in Zambia, know and have got an idea what it means to be a maize farmer. But the question is, what does it take for you to be a good farmer and then to produce more food? Hi, I'm the mad farmer from Chipangari district, deep down in the village of Eastern Province. Welcome to my program. Like I always say, I'm not a professional man, but I'm somebody who's so passionate about agriculture. Today, I'm going to take you through on how to do maize production, how to increase your yields, and the right way of doing it. So what I'm going to do right now is we are going to be together as I show you how to do starting from the calculations and how to do these things. I'm talking about this farming. So I've listed a few things here which I thought will be of great importance as we discuss maize farming. As we discuss maize farming, I've listed a number of things here which I thought would actually be very, very important for us to discuss them. Okay, thank you so much. So these are some of the things which we are going to look at. First of all, we will start looking at the land preparations. We'll also do the seed selection, in the inputs which are needed and stuff like that. And then we are also going to look at the actual planting itself, the fertilization, the weeding, harvesting, and then the returns, storage, and the market. Farming is something which is most talked about. And believe you me, farming of maize, almost 90% of Zambians depend on maize. People want to grow maize, but which maize is profitable? Today, on this program, we are going to look at all those things to look at which maize is more profitable and which one is not profitable. Another question may come, is it necessary for you to grow maize as a business? So, let's break it down. How do you grow maize? How do you grow maize? The first thing which you're supposed to do is land preparation. Or select what do you want to do. I want to be a farmer. A farmer of what? Of maize. And then what you need to do is you look for land. That's the first thing you need to do. You look for land. After looking for land now, you start looking for seeds. You start looking for seed. So now here, let's look at land preparations. What are we talking about when we say land preparations? We are looking at making ridges, doing the repairs, clearing the land. As you can see, this land is now being cleared in preparation for the rains to come. So what you do is, first of all, have your land prepared, and then know how many kgs you intend to plant. There has been a lot of debates on how many kgs you may use in a hectare, but most of the time, I personally don't like looking at the land hectares, but I'm looking at the kgs I've planted. Okay, because the last time I checked, a 10 kg would give you something roughly around 20,000 seeds in it. So now, let's look at land preparations. Identify the land. Know the region where you are. Know the region where you are. There are three main regions, though we can say there are four because it's also A and B, 2A and 2B. So the first region is what we call, is where it covers southern province, parts of eastern province, parts of western Lusaka and stuff like that. That's region which usually receive very low rainfall pattern. And then there's also the region 2, which is also, which covers, includes eastern province, parts of central province, it goes down, parts of western province, it goes down there. But again, the same region 2, there's also B, A and B. This side is the eastern part of it is actually the A, and then as you go west it's actually the B. And then we also got the region 3, which covers the Copper Belt, northern, northwestern, Luapula and stuff like that. That's region 3, which receives a lot of rainfall. So now that also is going to give you an idea which maize you plant. For example, if you are in northern province, Luapula province, parts of Mchinga, Copper Belt, northwestern, I think you guys, the best variety you can pick is the 7 series. The 7 series. What are 7 series? 7 series are late maturity seeds. These are very good, and then they've got more yields. Okay, they're very good, and then they've got more yields. They give you more returns, the 7 series, because they are late maturity seeds. But that does not mean you can't plant medium. You can still plant medium. Okay, especially like when I was looking at the season, the focus for this year, the best you can do, especially northern and Luapula, I think you should also consider planting the medium variety, because if you study it carefully, they mentioned something like there were a little bit of some challenges in your area. And then now there's also the region, which is region 2 and region 1. I think you guys can still plant the 6 series. The 6 series. These are medium. Okay, medium. Okay, and then I'll end there. I don't like talking about the early, because the early doesn't usually give you good yields. But if you want, you can plant them. So what it is now you know which seed you want and then which region you are. So now I'm not going to talk about a specific seed from a seed company, because that would be a bit tricky, because no one has paid me to mention their seed companies. So now what you do is you've now selected your seed variety. Okay, you've now selected your seed variety, because in normal circumstances a hectare is 100 by 100. Okay, so you have your hectare there. So now what you need to do now is you need to know what's the distance between the rows. Okay, you have your things there. What's the distance? The distance between this one should be 90 centimeters in between those ridges. Okay, should be 90. And then in between station, it should be 30 centimeters. Now, the question will come, how many seeds are we going to plant per station? And then another question will come, is it always that we need to put our maize in ridges? The question is no. You can, if you want, you can actually till the land, make it flat, and then put your line, okay, put your rope, and then plant in a line, because it's always good to plant in an orderly manner. It will be easier for you to do the weeding, and then you can actually plant there and then do the weeding. It's okay, you can even do it on a flat land. If you want, you can put it in ridges. If you want, you can do the reaper. I think I've talked about the reaper so many times. You can as well do likewise. That's that about the ridges and stuff like that. So now, if we do our calculations, the plant population of I think if you look at the videos, I'll show you the videos where we did the calculations, which we cannot do them again. If you did the calculations, this is supposed to give you a roughly round off figure. Let's just say 73,000 to 74,000 as plant population in a hectare. What I've done is I've actually done 90 centimeters, because if you do 90 here, I think it should give you 90 in 100 meters. It's supposed to give you, I think, 111, somewhere there. 111 ridges. Okay, and then now if you do 30 in here, it's supposed to give you some mathematics, and then it will give you, these are the figures which it's going to give you. So now after you do the seed selection, you have what it takes, and then now what you do is you know the number of seeds which are needed. Okay, now you are going to buy, because what I know is in a hectare you're supposed to plant somewhere between 30 35, somewhere there, if you follow the 30 centimeters, and then if you put two plants, two seeds per station, these are the calculations I've done. Whatever I'm sharing here is something which I've tried and it has worked for me. So now you have your land, you have done your land preparations, you know what you want to plant, you've selected your seed, and then now it's time to plant. Like I said, you plant two per station if you use 30 centimeters between stations. But if you use 15 centimeters per station, you can still plant one. It's still the same things. Now, here is the way I do it. Because I remember last season I had a very good harvest as far as maize is concerned. I don't grow maize, I don't grow it on a commercial basis that I want to sell. I just grow maize. The maize, I grow it just for consumption, because personally, I think this got no profit. So I just grow it for consumption, and then the kids may need some fresh maize and stuff like that. But I had a very good yields, the method I'd used. And then here's the method I'd used. What I did was, I planted, first of all, we were putting D compound. D compound. You get 5 grams. 5 grams of D you put in that hole. Okay, 5 grams of D. 5 grams of D, you don't have to move with a scale. 5 grams, just get a bottle, a water bottle top. That's 5 grams. You put it in there, you cover it a bit. Okay, and then you put your seed. Because once they're not supposed to be together, because once they are together, the seed will die. So this is what we say, applying fertilizer application at planting. Okay, you put your D there, you cover a bit, and then you put your seed there. It might be too much work, but the results will be very, very, very good. Believe you me, to be very, very good. So that's what you do. And then now, you actually cover them, you wait for the rains to come. Normally, myself, what I usually do is I plant in advance. I know it's a risky, but myself, because I've got a lot of things I do, so I plant in advance. So right now, we are trying to cultivate the land, we till it, and then we actually put our fertilizer, our seed, and then we cover, we forget about that. The next time we come here, the rains would have come. So now, you've planted, you're waiting for the rains to come. And then the rains are going to come, they'll grow. Okay, they will grow, and then when they reach this level, when they reach your knee level, that's when now you put your urea. But why do we put the urea at knee level? This is the time when your maize cob is actually looking for space where to put its cob. This is the time when your maize is looking for space where it can put its cob. So it's always better to apply your urea early. Okay, and then now, when your maize reaches here, this is the time whereby you can put now you can, if okay, there are two types of soil. There's that soil which is very loose, and then there's that soil which is that can squeeze together. So what it is if your soil is very loose, the best we can do, you can apply the urea twice. It's the same 5 grams. 5 grams D, 5 grams urea, together 10 grams. But you've already applied the 5 grams for D. So now we are talking about the 5 grams for urea. This 5 grams for urea, you can divide it into 2. You can get 2.5 grams. You put while it's knee level, depending on your soil, and then the other 2.5 when it's here. Okay, this depends on your soil. But if your soil is very good, it doesn't actually, it's not very loose, you can actually apply once when it's here, and then you continue until it grows. But there are some times whereby you did not apply your D at planting. So what you need to do is, the moment you see them, you see them, they've come out, they've generated, they've come out, the best thing to do is you try to go there, make a hole, put your D there immediately, because the D will actually work on your root formation, and then the stem will be very, very strong, because D actually has what it takes for it to have good roots. And I don't want to sound so technical. Okay, so what it is now is once they actually come out, you put your D. Okay, you put your D. How to apply D? Don't just throw D on top of your ridge where it can be washed away. No, make a small hole and then put in there. If you watch some of my video I've shown, I actually did the demonstration on how to apply fertilizer. I'll actually show you the videos. What you do is you make a small hole, you put your fertilizer there. The reason is in case you're just from applying and then a heavy downpour comes, which means you lose your fertilizer. So you make a small hole so that you don't wash away your fertilizer. So that's that. So both stages you have to make that hole. So now let's come to, we are done with fertilization, we are done planting. Now let's come to weeding. Here is how you do it. Weeding, there are so many types of weeding. I personally don't use weed killers. I usually use hands. But in case you want to use weed killers, there are actually several ways of doing it. There's selective and non-selective. Non-selective, there is, you actually apply immediately after planting. For example, you're using Reaper. Reaper mostly is just when we use non-selective. You do your lines, and then you plant, you cover, and then that's when you spray. You actually make lines when there's grass. You spray your non-selective, and then the weeds will be dying, the maize will be coming out. So now that's the non-selective. But the selective one, there are so many selective weed killers. There are so many of them, the herbicides. So with them, I'm not going to mention names. I'm not going to mention names because, like I said, no one has paid me to mention the names. What it is you should be very, very, very careful, because some weed killers, in 1 hectare, you need 4 of them. And then if you calculate, because the last time I checked how much the weed killer was, it was the one I checked, it was somewhere 350, somewhere there for a small bottle. It was 350, and then you need about 4 of them. And then if you make calculation, you find that maybe hands are even better. So what I'm saying is, you get your weed killer. The moment you see the weeds coming out, that's when you spray. But weed killer has got its own disadvantages, meaning that weed killer, you cannot intercrop. Okay, because if you want to intercrop, maize works better if you intercrop with chihuahua, which is pumpkins. It works better if you intercrop with beans. It works better if you intercrop with the okra, delele, cowpeas and stuff like that. But if you will choose to use the weed killer route, meaning that you will not be able to intercrop. That's what it means. So that's that about weeding. Now let's come to harvesting. It's very, very easy to know that the maize is ready for harvesting. Okay, but the question is, how many bags can we get from 1 hectare? Under very good management, you are supposed to get between 150 to 200 grams. You are supposed to get 150 to 200 grams, because this is simple mathematics. Okay, we've got a plant population of 74,000. Okay, and then one crop will give you 90 grams. Normally, 1 crop will give you 90 grams. So when you multiply this by this, we should be able to give you the number of bags which you'll be able to get from 1 hectare, which is between 150 to 200 bags. Now, storage. Storage, like any other crop, keep away from water. Okay, let it be on a dry space and stuff like that. And then marketing is very, very easy. Marketing, maize, unfortunately, maize is a political crop, which is controlled. You can't just export like that. It's actually controlled. So that's that. So there's also, this is actually the maize which goes up to the drying level. But if you want to make more money in maize, sell maize when it's fresh. Sell maize when it's fresh. For example, this is October. You can plant now and then you start watering. By the time it's January, you'll be selling fresh maize. Believe you me, maize in Lusaka, I was in Lusaka I think last week, maize in Lusaka is going somewhere between 2 kwacha to 5 kwacha. Now let's just assume you are selling your crop of maize at 1 kwacha. What, just 1 kwacha times 74,000. How much is that? 1 kwacha times 74,000. That's how much? That's a lot of money. So already we've got 74,000 kwacha. So that's that about that. So you can start now. I know it to be hard work, but sometimes it's a journey worth taking, because you actually are going to water this month and next month. Then next month, which is November, the rains will start helping you. By January, February, you'll be selling your crops of maize. Then you have a lot of money. If you've got any questions, feel free. The numbers are the same: 0977 851196. 0977-851196, 0966987051. Send me a WhatsApp with the same numbers. But the best you can do is, like I always say, when you send me a message, avoid greetings. If you want to greet me, just say, how are you, my father? You go on and say what you want to find out. Because I'm not going to manage to be actually responding, hi, how are you, hi, how are you? We spend the whole day saying the same things. Thank you so much for actually watching my program. If you've got any question, like I said, the number are the same. Feel free. Let's get interacting. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.